The cosmic bargain. Dr. Mira Novak squinted at the holographic display inside her research station. Another anomalous reading, she muttered to herself, pushing a strand of auburn hair behind her ear. The remote outpost orbiting Jupiter's moon Europa had been her home for 3 years now, far from Earth politics, far from human drama. Just her and the stars. The proximity alarm blared without warning, unidentified vessel approaching. The station AI announced, configuration unknown, origin unknown, Mira. Scrambled to the observation deck. Her heart raced as she witnessed the massive ship materializing from what appeared to be a tear in space itself. The vessel dwarfed any human spacecraft she had ever seen, gleaming with an iridescent surface that seemed to capture and reflect starlight in impossible ways. "This is Commander Econ Tharsis of the Imperial Galactic Vanguard." A deep voice resonated through the station's communication system, representing Her Majesty Empress Naya of the Astral Dominion. "You will prepare for boarding." Before Mira could respond, the air around her shimmered and 5 figures materialized in her laboratory. Their forms were humanoid, but distinctly alien, tall with striking features and skin that held a subtle, purple luminescence. The central figure towered above the others, his broad shoulders adorned with ornate armor. His amber eyes fixed on Mira with unsettling intensity. "Dr. Mira Novak," he stated, rather than asked. "You will accompany us to meet the Empress." Mira backed away. "I'm not going anywhere. Who are you? How do you know my name?" Commander Econ approached with measured steps. "Your species stands at a crossroads. Your primitive exploration has triggered ancient warning systems. Your planet has been marked for assessment." His expression remained impassive. "The Empress requires a human representative, a diplomatic liaison. The alternative is planetary quarantine." "Quarantine?" Mira asked, suspicion evident in her voice. "Total isolation. Force fields preventing all interstellar travel. Permanent confinement to your solar system," he replied. "Your species would never reach the stars, never join the galactic community, forever alone." 2 hours later, Mira found herself aboard the Imperial, flagship, a vessel so vast it contained entire ecosystems. The central chamber where she waited was adorned with strange, crystalline structures that hummed with energy. Commander Econ had left her alone to prepare herself mentally for the audience with the Empress. When the massive doors finally parted, Mira gasped despite herself. The Empress entered, flanked by guards. Her tall figure moved with fluid grace. Her skin, a deeper shade of purple than her subjects, glowed with an inner light that seemed to pulse with her emotions. Her eyes were the color of twilight. Her hair resembled flowing liquid silver. "Dr. Mira Novak of Earth." Empress Naya spoke, her voice melodic yet commanding. "Do you understand why you are here?" Mira straightened, her posture finding courage. "Commander Econ mentioned something about assessment and quarantine, but frankly, this feels more like abduction." A smile flickered across the Empress's face. "Direct. I appreciate that Earth has reached a critical juncture. Your technology is advancing rapidly. Your people will soon develop true interstellar capabilities. The question before the Galactic Council is whether humans should be welcomed or contained." "And I'm supposed to help you decide that?" Mira asked. "No," Empress Naya replied, stepping closer. "You are to become my consort." Mira blinked. "Your what?" "My mate, my partner, my spouse." The Empress clarified. "It is the ancient way. When a new species is discovered, a union is formed to determine compatibility. The binding is both political and personal. By our laws, only through such a union can Earth be granted full galactic citizenship. And if I refuse?" Mira challenged. The Empress's expression hardened. "Then Earth remains quarantined forever. Your species dies alone, never knowing the wonders beyond your solar system." "This is insane," Mira protested. "You can't expect me to marry you. I don't even know you." The ceremony would take place in 30 Earth days. Empress Naya continued undeterred. "During that time you will learn our ways. I will evaluate your potential as a representative of humanity." She paused, studying Mira carefully. The alternative is returning to your isolated outpost to watch as the quarantine shield engulfs your world, Commander. Econ re-entered the chamber. Your Majesty, the Council awaits your decision. Mira felt the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. She thought of Earth, of human potential, of the stars beyond reach. She looked into the Empress's twilight eyes, searching for cruelty but finding only determination. I'll do it, Mira said finally. For Earth. The Empress nodded once. Then the assessment begins. Celestial Palace intrigue days aboard the Imperial flagship. Astral Sovereign blurred together for Mira. The vessel was a marvel of engineering and biological integration with sections that seemed to breathe and respond to the crew's presence. Her quarters were spacious but alien, with furniture that adjusted to her body without command, and walls that shifted colors according to her mood. Your morning instruction begins in 10 minutes, announced Arya, the AI assistant assigned to her. Mira sighed as she finished securing her Earth-made uniform, refusing to adopt the flowing garments provided by the Imperial staff. Where is the Empress today? Still too busy for her future consort? Her Majesty is attending to diplomatic matters on the Southern Quadrant, Arya responded. Commander Econ will oversee your cultural education today. Since her arrival, Mira had seen the Empress only twice. Both encounters had been brief, formal, and surrounded by advisors and guards. The promised getting to know you period seemed more like an elaborate examination of human capabilities. Commander Econ awaited her in the learning chamber, a vast room with holographic displays showing star maps and historical events from the Astral Dominion's 10,000-year history. His amber eyes narrowed as she entered. You are 3 minutes late, Dr. Novak, he stated, his deep voice echoing in the chamber. Sorry, Mira replied, not meaning it. I was busy contemplating my forced marriage to your Empress. Econ's expression remained impassive. The union is a sacred tradition, one that has prevented countless interspecies conflicts. Your attitude does not serve Earth's interests. And what about my interests? Mira countered. Does anyone care that I'm being used as a political pawn? You were selected carefully, Econ revealed, activating a holographic display of Earth. Your genetic profile, intelligence, adaptability, and isolated position made you ideal. Your research on interstellar communication theory already aligned with our technology. He paused, studying her reaction. The Empress could have chosen anyone. This was not random. Before Mira could respond, the chamber doors slid open. A tall figure with slate-gray skin and cybernetic implants entered. His movements were precise, almost mechanical. Ambassador Zeth. Econ acknowledged with visible tension. You were not scheduled for this session. The ambassador's multifaceted eyes focused on Mira. I wish to meet the human who has captured our Empress's attention. His voice had an electronic undertone. The mechanoid collective remains concerned about this union. Mira felt immediate discomfort under his gaze. The mechanoid collective? One of the 12 major civilizations in the Dominion. Econ explained. Ambassador Zeth represents their interests on the Council, which include keeping primitive species quarantined. Zeth added, humans have a documented history of violence, aggression, and environmental destruction. Your inclusion threatens galactic stability. Mira crossed her arms. Yet here I am. Indeed, Zeth's cybernetic eyes whirred softly as they adjusted focus. One wonders what the Empress truly desires from this arrangement. The traditional assessment period is 6 months, not 30 days. The timeline was adjusted by council vote. Econ stated firmly, this is not your concern, Ambassador. Everything involving succession is my concern. Zeth replied, the Empress remains without heir. The human is clearly unsuitable for reproduction, yet she accelerates this union. He turned to leave, curious. After Zeth departed, Mira turned to Econ. Succession? Heir? What was that about? Econ hesitated before answering. The Empress's lineage carries specific genetic markers essential for ruling the Astral Dominion. The union ceremony transfers certain energetic imprints necessary for leadership. So this isn't just political, Mira realized. It's about power. It is about survival. A new voice interjected. Mira turned to find Empress, Naya, entering the chamber. Her silver hair cascaded down her back. Her purple skin seemed to shimmer with subtle bioluminescence in the dimmed light. The guards and attendants who usually surrounded her were absent. "Leave us, Commander." The Empress ordered. Once alone, Naya approached Mira, studying her with those twilight eyes. "You are uncomfortable here." "Brilliant observation," Mira replied. "I've been kidnapped, told I must marry you or doom my entire species, and now I discover there's some genetic power transfer involved. No, I'm having a wonderful time." To Mira's surprise, the Empress laughed, a melodic sound. "Your directness is refreshing. Most speak to me with carefully crafted words hiding their true thoughts. Well, I'm not most people, clearly." Naya moved to the holographic display, adjusting it to show Earth from different angles. "Your world is beautiful, fragile. I have watched it for some time." "Watched it?" Mira asked. "I have a particular interest in emerging civilizations," Naya admitted. "Earth's development has been unique, unpredictable." She turned to face Mira. "The Council fears this unpredictability. And you don't?" "I see potential where they see threat." Naya stepped closer. "The Mechanoid Collective pushes for quarantine. They believe humans would disrupt the balance we've maintained for millennia." Mira felt the weight of the situation intensify. "And this marriage is your solution?" "It provides protection through tradition," Naya explained. "Once bonded, Earth falls under my direct protection. No faction can challenge it." "Why me specifically?" Mira asked. The Empress studied her for a long moment. "Your mind, rare among any species, is the ability to see patterns where others see chaos. Your research theorized communication, methods we actually use." Her eyes held Mira's gaze. "You were already reaching toward the stars before we revealed ourselves." For the first time since her abduction, Mira felt something beyond fear and resentment. Something like curiosity. "Perhaps even connection. Tomorrow you will join me for the Celestial Council meeting," Naya stated. "It is time the representatives meet the human who will help shape their future." As the Empress turned to leave, Mira called out, "This union, you speak of it as purely political, but Zeth mentioned reproduction succession." Naya paused at the doorway. "The union has many facets, Dr. Novak, some political, some personal." Her twilight eyes seemed to darken. "Some we will discover together." Nebula Bloom. The Celestial Council chamber left Mira breathless. A vast dome with transparent sections revealing the swirling nebula outside. 12 ornate seats arranged in a circle represented the major civilizations of the astral dominion. The air hummed with tension as Mira entered alongside Empress Naya. "The human attends without restraints?" asked a reptilian delegate, his scaled face expressing distaste. "Dr. Novak is my honored guest and future consort," Naya replied, her voice carrying effortlessly through the chamber. "She requires no restraints." Ambassador Zeth's mechanical eyes focused on Mira. "The Mechanoid Collective maintains its objection to this hasty union. We request genetic verification of compatibility," Mira noticed. How Naya's purple skin darkened slightly, a sign of anger she had learned to recognize. "The ancient laws require consent and commitment, not genetic matching, Ambassador." The Empress stated, "Your request is denied." A delegate with luminous tendrils flowing from her head spoke next. "The Aquarian Conclave supports the Empress's choice. The human shows remarkable neural patterns similar to our own seers." The meeting continued with various factions debating Mira's presence, some curious, others openly hostile. She observed the political currents, feeling like a pawn in a game whose rules she barely understood. Later that evening, Mira stood on the observation deck watching the nebula's colors shift and dance. She sensed someone approach and turned to find Commander Econ, his usually stern face troubled. "The council meeting was contentious," he said, joining her at the viewport. "Many factions maneuver for advantage." "I noticed," Mira replied. "Half of them look at me like I'm a fascinating specimen, the other half like I'm a contaminant. The astral dominion has maintained balance for 10 millennia. Econ explained. Earth represents unknown variables, both opportunity and threat. He hesitated. The Empress takes great risk championing your species. Why? Mira asked. What does she truly gain? Before Econ could answer, emergency alarms blared throughout the ship. Red light bathed the corridor as crew members rushed to stations. We're under attack. Econ stated, checking his communication. Device: rogue mechanoid vessels. 3 ships approaching from the nebula's dark sector. They rushed to the command center where Empress Naya stood calmly issuing orders, her royal attire replaced by a fitted combat suit, her silver hair now tightly bound. Status report, she demanded as officers monitored holographic displays. 3 warships confirmed. A tactical officer reported, they've disabled our long-range communications weapon systems charging. Shields at maximum. Naya ordered, prepare. Defensive countermeasures. Mira watched in awe as the Empress transformed from regal ruler to military commander. The crew responded with practiced efficiency. A violent impact shook the ship. Mira stumbled, falling against a control panel. Several systems sparked and failed. Direct hit to engineering section. An officer shouted, shield generators damaged. They're targeting our propulsion systems. Econ observed, a strategic strike to immobilize, not destroy. Another blast rocked the vessel. More violently, Mira was thrown across the room. The impact knocked the wind from her lungs. As she struggled to her feet, she saw emergency force fields activating throughout the ship. Hull breach in sectors 7 through 9. A voice announced, atmospheric, loss detected. That's near the quantum stabilizers. Mira realized, recalling the ship schematics she had studied. Naya turned to her. What do you know of our stabilizers? Enough to understand they prevent spatial tearing during dimensional shifts. Mira replied, if they're damaged while active, a cascade reaction could tear this ship apart. Naya finished. Another officer approached. Your Majesty, we cannot reach engineering. The breach has sealed all direct routes. There's a maintenance tunnel, Mira suggested. I saw it on the schematics. It bypasses the main corridors. Naya's twilight eyes studied Mira. Show me. Minutes later, Mira found herself crawling through narrow passages alongside the Empress of the Astral Dominion. The ship continued to shudder under attack. Emergency lights cast eerie shadows as they navigated the tunnel. Why are you doing this? Naya asked as they moved. Helping save a ship that essentially holds you captive? There are thousands of lives aboard, Mira replied. Including mine, I'm pragmatic, not suicidal. They reached the engineering section to find it in chaos. The few remaining engineers struggled to contain cascading system failures. The stabilizer core is overheating, a chief engineer reported. Containment fields failing. Naya turned to Mira. Research your theories on quantum communication. Apply them here. Mira hesitated, then moved to the control panel, her mind racing through calculations. The stabilizers operate on a sympathetic frequency. If we can reverse the harmonic pattern. Her fingers flew across the alien interface. There, a negative feedback loop might counteract the cascade. Might? Econ questioned, having followed them through an alternative route. It's that or watch the ship tear itself apart, Mira snapped. Focusing on the task, the core's pulsing energy changed from angry red to a steady blue as Mira's adjustments took effect. The ship's shuddering gradually subsided, attacking vessels retreating. Came the announcement over the communication system. Damage reports incoming from all sections. Hours later, after the crisis had passed, Mira found herself alone with Naya in the Empress's private quarters, a vast chamber with living plants and water features that seemed to defy gravity. The Empress had discarded her combat suit for a simple robe. Her silver hair hung loose. Her purple skin still bore smudges from their ordeal. You saved my ship, Naya stated, pouring a luminescent blue liquid into 2 glasses. And likely many lives. I saved myself too, Mira reminded her, accepting the drink cautiously. True. Naya acknowledged, a smile playing at her lips. But you could have used the chaos to attempt escape. Mira sipped the drink, finding it surprisingly pleasant with notes of something, like cinnamon and starlight. Escape to where? We're in the middle of a nebula. The attack was no coincidence. Naya revealed settling beside Mira on a couch that seemed to form from the floor itself. The mechanoid collective grows bolder in their opposition to me, to Earth, to change. Naya's voice softened to anything that threatens their calculated order. Mira studied the Empress's face, noticing for the first time the subtle fatigue beneath her regal bearing. You're fighting your own counsel to protect Earth. Why? Naya's twilight eyes met Mira's. Perhaps I see in humanity what we have lost. Adaptability, creativity, unpredictability. Her hand moved closer to Mira's. Perhaps I see it in you. The distance between them seemed to shrink. The nebula's light played across Naya's purple skin, making it shimmer. The air grew heavy with unspoken possibility. This union, Mira said softly, you never explained what it truly entails? A sharing. Naya replied, her voice barely above, a whisper, of energy, of knowledge of self. Her fingertips brushed against Mira's, sending unexpected warmth through her body. It cannot be forced. It must be chosen. And if I choose it? Mira asked. Surprised by her own question, Naya leaned closer. Then two become something new, something neither could be alone. Their lips met tentatively at first, then with growing certainty. The Empress's touch sent waves of sensation through Mira, unlike anything she had experienced. Stars seemed to explode behind her closed eyelids as boundaries between them momentarily blurred. When they finally parted, Mira felt changed somehow, as though something had awakened within her, something that resonated with the woman before her. What just happened? She whispered. The beginning. Naya replied, her twilight eyes now glowing with inner light. The first step toward convergence. She caressed Mira's cheek, but there is much still to learn, much to overcome. Outside the viewport, the nebula bloomed with new colors as though responding to the energy between them. Stellar conspiracy days after the attack, Mira noticed subtle changes within herself. Dreams filled with stars she'd never seen, knowledge of languages she'd never studied. Something in Naya's kiss had transferred more than passion. The neural patterns are fascinating, Dr. Chen, the ship's physician, observed, scanning Mira's brain. The Empress's energy signature has begun harmonizing with your own. Is that normal? Mira asked, concerned. It is rare, Econ answered from the doorway. It suggests true compatibility, a favorable sign. Their conversation was interrupted when Arya announced, security breach detected, multiple infiltration points. Alarms blared as Mira and Econ raced to the command center. Inside they found chaos. Ambassador Zeth stood with several mechanoid soldiers while Naya faced them, her posture defiant. The collective has evidence of your genetic manipulation, Zeth accused. You engineered this human specifically to receive the Imperial essence. That's ridiculous, Mira interjected. I was born on Earth fully human. Your DNA contains markers, Zeth countered. Ancient Imperial lineage dormant until activated. Naya's expression revealed the truth. Your mother worked for our observation team. Mira, she was one of us. Her union with your father was genuine but purposeful. The revelation staggered Mira. I'm half alien? The Imperial bloodline flows in you, Naya confirmed. Dormant until now, our connection awakened it. A violation of non-interference protocols, Zeth declared. The Empress has compromised herself in our laws. The human experiment must end. As mechanoid soldiers moved forward, Mira felt something surge within her. Energy coursed through her veins. Her vision sharpened, revealing spectrums beyond human perception. Without understanding how, she projected a force field that knocked the soldiers backward. The convergence has begun, Naya whispered with wonder. Sooner than expected? Cosmic convergence. The ship hurtled through space, pursued by the mechanoid fleet. Mira and Naya worked in perfect synchronization. Their minds partially merged, their powers complementing each other. The Earth Defense Fleet approaches. Commander Econ announced, led by Admiral Kai. My brother. Mira realized another memory unlocked. He knows. On the communication screen, Admiral Kai's face appeared. Took you long enough, sis. The dormant cells in your blood have finally awakened. Earth has always been protected, Naya explained as their ships formed a defensive line, a sanctuary for our bloodline. When the Mechanoid Collective began their purge millennia ago, the final battle erupted in spectacular fashion. Energy weapons pierced the darkness. Mira and Naya stood together on the command deck, their hands intertwined, power flowing between them. Together we can end this war, Naya said. The convergence of our bloodlines was always the prophecy. Human adaptability, astral power. They kissed as the battle raged around them. This time Mira welcomed the merging feeling, Naya's essence blend with her own. Their energies spiraled outward, engulfing the ship, then expanding to encompass the warring fleets. Time seemed to stop. The fighting ceased as all parties witnessed the transformation. From two worlds, one future. They spoke in unison, their voices resonating across space. The division ends today. Ambassador Zeth and his forces found themselves unable to maintain hostility as the energy wave washed over them, dissolving centuries of programming and prejudice. In the aftermath, Mira and Naya stood before the reformed Celestial Council, no longer as human and Empress, but as something new, a bridge between worlds. Their bodies bore the marks of their transformation, subtle luminescence. Beneath Mira's skin, Naya's eyes now holding flecks of earth brown. The convergence is complete, they announced. Earth joins the astral dominion, not as subject, but as partner. The quarantine age ends. A new era begins. As celebrations erupted across both fleets, Mira pulled Naya into a private moment. You planned this all along, she whispered. Found me, awakened me. Naya smiled, her purple skin glowing with happiness. I found you, yes, but what blossomed between us? That was written in the stars, long before either of us existed. Their lips met once more, sealing a union that would transform galaxies. The ultimate choice had never been between wedding or death, but between isolation and connection, between fear and love, and across the vastness of space. Earth's night sky bloomed with new colors as the veil between worlds finally lifted.